2, 3. 3, 2, 1. There you go. Oh, such a great opening.
All right.
Oh, we're watching the full opening, by the way. Oh, you got to.
Yeah, come on. With the LucasArts openings were some of my favorite things growing up, especially with Rogue Squadron 3. Shout out to the GameCube.
I was gonna go Pod Racer.
Really?
Oh, the sound of the pods like screaming by the Lucas engine. Yeah. Welcome, Tyler.
Welcome.
Welcome to my couch.
This is one of the top 10 comfiest couches I've ever been on. Probably would sleep on it in a heartbeat. So
It's a very comfortable couch to sleep on.
all right.
This is
when
Mrs. Play goes out of town. This becomes like the living space for me.
So do you ever see the other two floors of your house when she's out of town, or does this just become your ground zero?
Yes, because I'm told I have to go upstairs to get sunlight, and I have to feed the cats.
That's fair. Hey, you could always go out. You could go out into the backyard. Bring the cat bowls down here, you know?
I could. However, I will let you know when Mrs. Plays that's the reason that's open. That normally is not open. It is fake lights all throughout here.
I do the same thing with my office back home. It's blackout curtains are probably the best things to ever have been invented. And I think it gives a good casino effect. Because if you don't check a clock, you don't know
what time it is.
Between night and day.
I've had that before. Like there are times where I'll be up talking with you guys, and I'll just drop off because I'm like, oh fuck, it is like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like, I gotta go to bed. You guys are having a conversation, and I'm like, this is my 30-year-old ass can't handle this anymore.
You know what they say? 30's the new 20.
30 is
15. 30's the new 15. People never really age.
That's true. Well, welcome. So winners. This is Tyler. Tyler, winners.
Hi everybody.
You and I talk a lot of Star Wars.
A fair bit. We dabble, I think.
We do. We did a podcast on like Star Wars gatekeeping very early on in the podcast realm.
Yes, one of my favorite podcast episodes.
Thank you. It was fun because like someone like Mrs. Play who is very worried to ever do a game in the Star Wars universe because she's like, if I mess up the names, people are gonna. And I'm like, Star Wars, I will say, has like one of the best and worst fandoms.
By a country mile. I don't think they're. I can't name another fandom that is so polarizing than Star Wars.
I would say the 40K fandom. Oh, do you do the miniatures? No, you don't do the miniatures. Oh, then you're not a real fan. Like, you get some people who are like that versus, but even that's a much harder fandom to find.
Yeah, I can honestly say I think you're the first and only Warhammer fan I know. So, a little bit off the beaten path in terms of fandom, but we all have our niches, and that's definitely one of yours.
I will keep that one quietly. But you and I have been watching Kenobi.
Yes. One of my favorite projects.
And I'm getting Mrs. Play through the rest of Clone Wars slowly but surely. But this game got remastered 4 or 5 months ago now, I think, or no, probably a year ago now. It got remastered because I hadn't moved yet, so it was about March of last year. And I streamed it, and I was like, okay, this is a fun game. And you and I were talking about the other day. You're like, it's a great game, and I'm like, have you played it recently? And you said no, and I'm like, well,
I did say no.
Come over here and play it. And it's still a great game. It's top 10 Star Wars game. It's gonna feel a little dated, so there might be some fancier editing on this one, winners. Especially since I don't have my hand on the controller. You'll actually be playing through this.
Woo! I hope you're ready for some top-notch gameplay. I belong in competitions. You know, I don't belong in competitions. I can't start with that. Expect an enjoyable experience, not for the gameplay, but you know, you come for the gameplay, you stay for me. You realize the gameplay's awful, but we can make it work.
We can easily make this work. We can deep dive some lore. We can real deep dive some like new canon, old canon, blurred canon lore that they've kind of done with this.
Yeah, Republic Commando. None of it's canon.
Characters are
yes, and it's based form. The characters are, but the story in itself, I guess, hasn't really made the jump. As far as I know, anyway. Because what? There's Scorch. Scorch is canon.
He's dead. Yeah, but he's canon.
Yeah.
I think he might come back. He might be the new Darth Maul.
See, I guess with everything with the Clone Wars, you can really never put a definitive stamp on what's canon and what's not, because we've been exploring the Clone Wars as an era for
20 years.
Yeah, and let's see, Disney bought Lucas in was that 14 or 15? Or maybe a little bit earlier, actually, maybe 2013, somewhere in the early 2010s, somewhere
2015. It had to be.
Yeah,
I think because I had moved up over here. I've been here. Oh no, yeah, they hadn't, because it was still on Netflix when I moved up here, and I rewatched all of it on Netflix.
Right.
So that at least counts out. It's probably about 2015 because it dropped off Netflix, and you couldn't watch it for a hot minute.
Yeah, it was almost impossible to find after that final season. Fake final season, I guess, is the term for it. The final season before the actual final season. Season 6 and 7.
It was prologue final season. Now we're on epilogue final season.
Yeah, I know. Because it was such a great story, you could never really put it down. And I think with the introduction of the Bad Batch, that just continues to show that there were so many memorable moments and memorable characters that were introduced in the Clone Wars that fans wanted to see so much of them that we have a sustained, I guess, timeline on just Clone Wars characters.
Mm-hmm.
Ahsoka's story, Rex's story, Commander Cody's story, which
I'm excited to see where that goes.
I am over the moon. I've been wondering about Cody ever since.
The theory that he disobeyed Order 66 and gave Obi-Wan the cover to get out.
Yes, yeah, how he didn't, he intentionally missed the shot. Because, we all know Cody. He doesn't miss much. He is, he's proven. He's definitely proven. But yeah, his non-canon, I guess, non-canon story is that he ends up training stormtroopers on Commando, and that's kind of how he was relegated in the role of the Empire. But we don't really know what the true story is now, since everything got thrown out the window with Legends when Disney came in. So it's been a story I've really been wanting to see, especially since they had that interaction between Rex and Cody in the final season of the Clone Wars. Him and Cody, I believe they were in a barracks kind of around the time we got the whole Padme, Obi-Wan kind of knows about Padme and Anakin scene. Rex started out the Clone Wars with just this sense of duty, honor for the Republic. And to see him progress so much throughout the seasons, to not really know what he's, I guess, fighting for toward the end of it, to the point where I guess he's really the only clone known to resist Order 66 and his chip even for a short time before he goes, haywire.
Who's the commander that tries to arrest him in Ahsoka?
Jesse.
Because you see him talk to Jesse, and Jesse, you watch Jesse's head, and it's you can see the headache of it. God, that entire ending sequence of just all the mass soldier's grave.
Awful to watch. It hurt. It was like burying your childhood right there. Or I guess for you, your early 20s, but for me, it was, well, I guess, late teens, early 20s?
15, I'd have been 17, 18 when Clone Wars was kicking off, or was really big. I think I would have just been senior high school when it started. I remember the micro series on Spike TV.
2003, where you had to wait. What was it you got 3 minutes of Clone Wars a day, I think, with the
it was 6 minutes a week.
6 minutes a week.
6 minutes a week, yeah. But now you can watch it all uncut, unstopped on Disney Plus.
Yeah, actually, when Obi-Wan kicked off, you know, my Anna and I, who we've been going through all of Star Wars canon, took a nice little pit stop on the micro series.
I'm pretty sure that's canon.
I don't.
You think if it's on Disney, Disney's acknowledging it, saying it's canon.
Counterpoint though, Visions is not canon on Disney Plus.
Have you seen all of Visions yet?
I've seen 5 out of the 9. What is it? 9 episodes? 8 episodes? I've seen the majority of it. There are a couple. There are a couple I have skipped.
You haven't seen Toby 1? You haven't seen Toby 1.
Let's see. I've seen the twins. I know I've seen the first 3.
Mm-hmm. Trigger did the twins. I love Trigger's animation. And then that's NPH.
Yeah, I haven't. So I guess I haven't seen the Toby one.
Toby's like just me classic animation. It's Astro Boy. Like it is. Hey, Astro Boy.
But in Star Wars.
In Star Wars, like Kyber crystal powered super robot in Star Wars.
Which is something, I guess, is crazy you haven't seen in Star Wars yet already. I guess. Well, I mean, instead of a robot, you get a Kyber crystal powered space station that can destroy planets.
But I think it's just a laser.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to have a.
I haven't gotten a Force mecha yet.
It's coming. It's coming for you.
Oh, at some point.
Okay, so yeah, Republic Commando.
Yes.
Super excited.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the games that holds that nostalgic factor for me. And honestly, it came out during one of the best runs. No, probably the best run of Star Wars games that we've seen so far. The 2005 to 2007 era. You had what? Rogue Squadron,
Jedi Academy,
Battlefront
2.
Amazing.
Every Battlefront, aside from I would say the 2 newest ones, was great. Even the ones on the PSP, like they were. Excuse me, I'd say the one especially on the PSP where they it had an actual campaign, an actual story where they illegally cloned a Jedi, and like I think at the end of it you have to go end up saving Luke from Vader at one of the fights, and like it's canonically like how he actually lives and walks away from one of the fights.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Never played it on the PSP. I had a PSP for 2 months. And then it was mysteriously lost. Stolen. But, yeah, also Force Unleashed was in that time frame, which is a beautiful game in its own right. That and the sequel.
If you like this, I would go through Force Unleashed with you. Just because it's also... It's very hard to get people into a franchise and like jump off the deep end into, I would say, this or Force Unleashed. So Mrs. Play is very timid towards Star Wars because the fandom will crucify you for making mistakes, and I'll make fun of them because I haven't read these books since high school and middle school because this came out on Xbox.
Mm-hmm. The original Xbox, right?
Xbox,
it was before
yeah.
360, yeah.
Because I remember when my friends were all like, "We have Halo," and my one friend who knew me was like, "I have Republic Commando." I was like, "Fuck you." Me and my PS2 were going down strong with some Killzone. But I remember wanting to play this and getting to see it at his house. And I remember we got stuck at the very end, like Kashyyyk. I don't think I've ever actually beaten this game because all I can remember was we got to Kashyyyk and we couldn't beat Kashyyyk.
I mean, I think that's a Star Wars trend. Can anybody really beat Kashyyyk? You have a planet with the Wookiees. You're not gonna win.
And a giant bird dragon.
Yeah. Kashyyyk also is one of my favorite locations portrayed throughout Star Wars games. That accounts for Fallen Order, Republic Commando, Lego Star Wars. Cannot forget the Lego Star Wars Kashyyyk segments. Fantastic.
I need to get the new Lego Star Wars.
It is worth it. It is well worth it.
I have heard. I've heard it was a disaster to make, and actually, you guys have been sitting here for a while now, so you're gonna need a longer first episode. Let's go ahead and hit new game. That way, we don't have them waiting here,
listening to us ramble.